Hey, everybody. This is Chris Williams. I'm so excited to have you here today in Building a Thriving Wellness Practice. I'm here with Jenni Parker-Brown today, and I am so excited to introduce you to her. She is my friend. She is also the founder of the highly acclaimed House of Preeminence magazine. It's amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to be able to check out the link that she's got with you guys later at the end of the interview so that you can grab your copy of it. Jenni, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. I feel like we've known each other for years already, so it's an absolute joy to be participating.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We were talking about alignment because this is the pillar that we're going to start with is align. And, alignment means to so many, or alignment can mean different things to different people. It could mean that we're talking about energy. It could mean that we're aligning with our heart and soul's work, which is what we're going to talk about today. It can mean a lot of different things. And so Jenni and I, of course, like the butterfly, like neither one of us knew that we were going to have a butterfly in the background. So how aligned is that? So fun. And Jenni and I both have such a heart and passion for supporting women to own their worthiness, own their power, and to create the lives consciously and soulfully that they want to create. And so I'm just so excited to have Jenni here speak about several things. She's going to talk about her Trinity Code. She's going to share about a little bit about her journey and what does alignment mean for her. So darn excited. Jenni, tell us about alignment. Like when you and I even just started talking about alignment, like both of us were like, like it was just like, tell us what alignment means for you.
You're absolutely right. There are a lot of interpretations of what alignment means, and in a literal sense, it means lined up. It means that you're in the right trajectory to attract and manifest and realize what you want. So I'm going to talk about the Trinity Code in a little bit, but I want to make this really applicable and appropriate for the women entrepreneurs, the women entrepreneurs who are listening, and what alignment means. So I'm going to take this to how we come at our heart-led businesses, how most of us come at our heart-led businesses, at whatever level we're doing, is we tend to think first and foremost about our offers. That's what we think. We think about our offers. What's the expertise that I could give? What's the program? What's the retreat I could do? What's the group thing I could do? So we're always kind of starting with that, and then often not thinking about whether there's a need for it, an audience for it, whether it's feasible, sellable. So that to me is way down the path of where we need to be. So if we take that back one, we reverse engineer it a little bit. If women have done work on their purpose and their mission and their vision, then usually entrepreneurs are quite close to their why. We've heard so much talk about what your why is. Simon Sinek was the great Simon Sinek. Made this a popular concept, even at a very high corporate level, that business in general had to be connected to its why and had to communicate its why so that its customers would identify with its values. So that already is very, 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 important before you actually start your offer and your what. But the alignment work that I do, which I discovered through this incredible Trinity Code, which is cosmic wisdom, and I'll tell you the story of that in just a sec. That takes you back to who you are. Now, most entrepreneurs, when they're asked, who are you? They'll say, well, I'm a wellness coach, or I'm a this, or I'm a branding expert, or that, and they'll give their role or their identity, but nobody knows how to articulate exactly who they are. They might say, well, I'm a mum of 3, or I'm a partner of 20 years, but that still isn't who you are. When you can articulate who you are from the most powerful place of all, which is the divine I am, because you are speaking it into being, that is true alignment. So the Trinity code then reverse engineers things like your business back to your who. So we build your who, then we look at what your calling is to do with that, which is your why. Then we say, okay, what does that look like as an offer, as a service, as a business model, as that really corresponds with your skills and your passions, and then how am I going to do it? So that's really the power of alignment, is because otherwise you're always going to be out of alignment slightly. If you begin at one of those other places, gosh, how many women entrepreneurs and coaches do we know who are out of alignment because they didn't get this amount of clarity in the beginning? So they have a good idea that they start to put out there as an offer, and yet it's still not aligned with who they are.
Oh my gosh, Jenny, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I work on, as you know, with my clients is, there so many of my clients, want to start exactly what you're saying. Like, how much do I charge? What's my pricing? What's my program? What niche should I pick? What niche should I pick? And I'm like, let's put that over to the side and let's come back to what is it that you love to do? What is it that you love to do? What makes you you? What is something that lights you up? Because we have to create from there. Otherwise, you're absolutely right. We will be out of alignment when we're only looking at what other people are doing, or, oh, so-and-so coach makes amazing money doing that, I should do that. Or so-and-so, I see so-and-so else doing that, so, let me do that. But it's not really connected with who we are and also the state of being that we want to be in while we're doing our work. Right? We can get taken out of alignment there too. So this is so incredibly powerful too. And it's something that's a new paradigm, very new paradigm.
It is a new paradigm, but it is why the Trinity Code is so exciting, is because it embraces both quantum physics and all of the new discoveries in neurobiology and epigenetics and everything that we know about how our body energy works, and flow states, peak performance, all that. It's also as ancient as the stars and ancient cosmos.
Yeah.
So, okay. So
Totally.
I'm going to tell you the story of how I discovered it. Was I was just as we were talking before the show, I was on a branding TV reality show a few years ago, and the producer, she said, and I had a body of work which I was actually called the Silver Rose, and it was to find your purpose. It was to find, what you should be doing with your life. And the producer said to me, Jenny, she said, it's nice, it's kind of pretty and cute, but it's not like world class. And I went, I think she's right, actually. So I went to it. She said, you're going to have to go away and dig deep and find something else. And I said, well, I'm not going to find anything else, because this is it. Mm-hmm. So I went away and I thought, okay, let me take the work, let me take the wisdom, let me take what I'm doing here, take it apart. And it took me on an adventure, Christine, which absolutely blew my mind. I was using a simple Venn diagram, three overlapping circles. Now, 3 overlapping circles is actually the center of the flower of life. It is one of the most powerful geometric forms in the universe, and get this, it is actually a fundamental principle of creation. So this is the way in the simplest possible terms, because there's so much I can talk about with this, is when you think about consciousness is a desire to experience. This is what we're living through. We want to experience ourselves as ourselves. Our soul wants this experience. It's a desire. And at a cosmic level, consciousness wants to experience itself through us, through stars, galaxies. And that is the very first impulse of everything. And, we might find out more, but so far that's what scientists have concluded, that there is a kind of a one fundamental principle. Now that always has an opposite side of duality, always. And that makes 2. Now, when you add up 1 and 1, it doesn't actually make 2, it makes 3. So when you bring another dynamic in, it makes a triangulation. So in mathematical terms, the number 3 is the strongest number. There would be no maths if there wasn't the number 3. Like all maths, all science could not exist if there wasn't a number 3. And I am going to come back to how practical this is.
I am getting chills just hearing this. Like I am all over this. Like Trinity has, whoops, hang on. Whoop. All right, so we get to edit that. I don't know why somebody popped in there, but hang on. Okay. My husband and Jenny, you still here? Okay, cool. My husband and I picked our wedding date because it was divisible by 3, because 3 is such a powerful number for both of us too. So when we got married, we were like, okay, June 3rd, and it was what, 19 or 20, I can't even remember now the year. Oh my God. But all of the numbers were divisible by 3. And the whole Trinity has always been something that has felt so strong to me, and I didn't know why. So this is like mind-blowing to me.
It really is mind-blowing. And Nicholas Tesla was the guy who did the most work on this. You know, Pythagoras knew this, and so did Newton. But Tesla, he was the guy who really took this and showed, because he's got that quote that says, if you only knew the power of if you only knew the power of energy, you would have the secrets to the universe. So what he identified was in the whole number system is that all the numbers apart from 3, 6, and 9 explain the physical world, like the physical world. So everything 3D, all those things we want to attract, you know, houses, cars, you know, clients, everything, are explainable by the binary number system. The 3, 6, and 9 are not in that system. They are outside, and they explain the unseen world. Now, when I started to look into this, I was finding triquetras, like, you know, that like Celtic triquetras, triangles, pyramids, so many examples of 3. And then I looked further, and I was finding it in language. I was finding it in nature, in snowflakes, in the flower of life, in the Fibonacci sequence, and the law of thirds, in photography. And I was like, oh, there's something here. There is something here. I was like a detective, Christine, in this few-month period. And then I found this book on Amazon, because I was like, okay, I know that there's something big that I'm about to discover. And I found this book on Amazon called The Trinity Secret. It is really, really interesting, and written by a screenwriter called Larry Flaxman. He'd done all the heavy lifting for me. He had discovered everything that there was to know about the Trinity since time began. Everything, in every religion, in culture, in maths, in architecture, everything. It was mind-blowing. At the end, he had one chapter about manifestation. And that's when I knew that I had found something that was just incredible. So he described how the Trinity is actually an interpretation of how to manifest, how to bring desires into physical form. And then he didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, bingo, I've got it. I've got it. I understand. So since that moment, I've taken this work from the incredible research that's available, and there is so much available out there. Because when I discovered this, Christine, I thought, have I made this up, or I channeled it? What is it? Right. No, I just, like a scientist, I discovered it. It's there. It's in the cosmic fabric of the universe. So I thought, okay, well, let's take this. Now, how can I make this applicable to people's lives, to women's lives, so that we can achieve our dreams? Because, in the beginning, my quest is dream fulfillment and helping people fulfill dreams and fulfill desires. So I realized that this Trinity code was a way to uncover in each one of us our genius and superpowers by unifying in the power of three, in the geometry of three, the things that put us into the flow state, in the highest vibrational state. Now, I know this is going to be easier to understand. You talked about for women doing what they love. When they do what they love, when we do what we love, we are in a flow state. We are at such a high vibration. But we are also in that state when we are using our gifts. We're natural gifts, just like people who have a voice, they can just, without thinking about it, just open their mouth and this beautiful sound comes out. All their gifts, that puts us into the same vibration. We also get that same vibration, which is hormonal, it's emotional, you know, all of these happy chemicals like flooding around our body. We also get it when we're doing work that fires us up, when we're in our values, we're living a life that has all of our values, our heartfelt values, whether it's for planetary change or fitness or wellness or up-leveling women's lives. Anything that makes us feisty and passionate also puts us into that state. Now, each one of those on their own is sufficient to put us into a flow state. What the Trinity Code does is it shows women how to unify them. It's in the power of unity, which is the whole point of the figure of the number 3 is unity. And the Trinity.
Yes.
Is when we step into our divine power and our absolute alignment. So,
Yes.
so that is where I take women to be able to discover who they are, to articulate it, so that then they can say, what am I called to do with this? What's my calling to do with this? That comes next. Then what does that look like as a business model? What does it look like as an offer? And then how am I going to do it? So this is the mother of alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you said that, you know, things just kind of happened like, you know, in the flow state, right? And that, you know, originally you thought, am I the channel of this? And all of a sudden, all of these evidence, right, started coming in to support what it is that you were learning and seeing. And that's alignment, right? When we are energetically in alignment with, in that flow state, then we're actually able to see what's already been there. We put ourselves in that place where we're actually able to see in physical form what was there anyways. It's just that we didn't see it at the time because we weren't aligned, energetically aligned to be able to see that.
That's it, totally. So I'm gonna tell you what my Trinity code is, okay? And
Please,
you're gonna
grab your pens and paper for sure. I want to know. I'm going to be writing it down here.
It's my Trinity code. Everybody has got a unique Trinity code.
I love that.
So I'm going to articulate it as who I am, and you'll understand it then. I know it sounds very far out there, but when you kind of hear it like this, it's much easier to understand. Okay, who am I? I am the embodiment of grace and beauty, profitably using my creative genius to raise the bar on transformation and help humanity rise. And that is exactly who I am. And that is exactly what is you know, the means that I'm attracting everything that I need for the project, because the magazine, the platform, everything that I'm doing is an expression of who I am. I didn't think, oh, like, I'm going to make a magazine and just put this stuff in it. Like this is a divine expression. So what you've got in that phrase are three words, 3 phrases that are my code, which is beauty and grace, creative genius, and transformation at a humanity level. So those 3 things, they all correspond with what I love, what I'm good at, what I value. But the amazing thing about the Trinity Code process is you cannot work it out with your conscious mind. If you just absolutely cannot work it out with your conscious mind, which is just why it's just such stunning work. But it really, really is the reason that, you know, the House of Preeminence, the Preeminence Rising platform has in a year and a half has positioned itself to be called the magazine for the new earth.
Mm-hmm.
And to be held up as a magazine that influencers want to be in, and that has made an ideal for women to magnetize towards, to create their highest lives, and why we're showcasing, you know, the people we are. So it is absolutely a magical process, but it's all around us.
Yes. How would you, so for, you know, women entrepreneurs that are just starting, that are hearing this and they're like, yes, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, but where do I start? What would you, you know, if we can't use our logical mind, what would you, what would be a piece of advice or a practical piece that you would invite them to? Is it doing something similar like you did? Like, okay, let me just go. I know for me, I get the divine downloads when I go away. I take a retreat every quarter. It's a private retreat. I go for 3 days. And that's when I am in the space of stillness and openness and excitement to kind of receive, you know, the information that is in alignment with who I am and what it is that I want to do. But what piece would you recommend for women entrepreneurs that really want to learn how to do this?
The very first part, Christine, is to give yourself permission to listen to your heart.
Mm.
And because, again, as entrepreneurs, and this is a way that we've been taught not just to live, and the trajectories of our lives, but especially as entrepreneurs, is that it is mental, intellectual, linear, you know, yang, strategic planning, and it isn't. And women don't know how to listen to their hearts anymore. They just don't, let alone give themselves permission to follow their hearts. And that is where, you mentioned it in the beginning, that is where the highest vibration is. And we know from the Heart Math Institute research that the heart and the brain are inextricably linked. They're biologically linked. So we have to give ourselves permission to listen to our heart and make the changes in life that need to be made before we can even get on this journey. So for me, that was self-evident right from the beginning. Following my heart was, somebody said to me yesterday, following your bliss. I said, no, I wasn't following my bliss. I didn't know what my bliss was. Mm-hmm. I just followed my heart. And often following my heart was so not blissful. It was really messy, but
yes. Yeah, totally. I love that meme that is like, you know, what we think entrepreneurship is, and it's like, you know, a dot here and a straight line up to the top, and then what it really is like this line that goes up and down and all over the place. And yeah, it totally is not a straight line.
Absolutely, there is no straight line, but the heart is your GPS, you know, and the Trinity Code is your GPS. So the first place is to give yourself permission to listen to your heart and say, right where you are, what do I really want? What do I really want? And to get out of the logical mind of going, you know, I love the question of what would you do if money was no object? That is the best way to start, because it frees you up and it lets people fantasize, but it's not fantasy. That's the truest thing of all. What would you do if money was no object? What would you do if $1 million, you know, showed up tomorrow? And then you go, oh, right, okay. Well, it will be this, and I'd be building a school, and you know, and that's the best way. So get a journal, start journaling. What would I do if money were no object? And give yourself permission to lean into your heart and find out what you really want. That is absolutely the first place. And it might be that a wellness practice is only a tiny weeny part of it. It might be that passion for other people's well-being is a call to something completely different. It is. And that, again, we're coming back to alignment, that the clearer you can be about that from the beginning. Oh gosh, you know, take me decades to get to the true alignment of my life. And I've done, you know, I talked about horse dancing. I've done some amazing things following my heart as a multi-potentialite. And somebody gave me this beautiful metaphor yesterday of, and I know that you'll be familiar with it, as when bees, they dart from flower to flower, you know, picking up pollen, and there seems to be no reason, no logic. They go, they hop, and then they go away, and then they come back, and then they hop, and then they're picking up the pollen to make the honey. But actually, everything is the next step. Everything is the next step if you are attached to making your own honey, which I am. You know, honey pot of life.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. By the way, in my background, I was a beekeeper. So of course, we're going to talk about bees here today. Yes. Holy cow, for sure. And I love that you say, you know, like everything is the next step. So often, you know, we're taught that, oh, you need to have the whole thing figured out before you take a step. And that's one of the main things that I see many, many women getting stuck on. I don't have everything at all figured out. You don't need to have it all figured out. Start with your heart, start as what you love to do, and follow the next step, and then follow the next step and follow. I mean, the business that I have today was not even on my radar when I first started. You know, I started as a massage therapist because I was in the healing world and in the natural healing world, and it was something that I loved. And it was, you know, after my divorce, I got to decide, you know, what do I want to do? What do I want to do now? Like, do I want to go back into a corporate world that I did when I was in my 20s? Or do I want to do something else? And I'm like, no, I want to do massage therapy. I love that healing modality. I want to give back. That would be something fun. Like, I want to do something that is also going to allow me to love what I do and provide an income for myself and my boys. And it was just one step along the way that something new would pop in, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, but let me just take that step. Let me pick up that breadcrumb. And it's all of these different things that, you know, have organically evolved to where I am here today. And now I look back and I'm like, of course. This is where it was leading me to.
Absolutely. And so many women don't ever get to that, you know, that where you are, where I am, because they're still in the mindset of, but I have to pay the bills. What would happen if I, you know, if I stop what I'm doing, or if I change, and how I can't cope financially. And that is the biggest blocker. I often like to say that that Maslow's pyramid of hierarchy is actually it's the wrong way up. It's funny to come back to pyramids, because it starts with all your basic needs of survival, and then security and belonging and status and all those things up. And then you've got fulfillment right at the top. Is like, you can only be fulfilled once you've been through all those other stages. Hello? It's like, no, you turn that upside down. You start with the fulfillment. You start with the high vibration. You start with the flow state. You start with the love, with the excitement, with the passion, with the vision, with the you know, the Trinity code. And then you work up. And as you work up, then you will gravitate towards the money. The money's at the top.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Did you just channel that? Because that is freaking amazing. Like, I never ever looked at it that way, but that is exactly the way that it happens. We oh my gosh, this is like so amazing. Like, you guys need to write this down. That was totally gold. When we are in our alignment, when we are fulfilled, when we are feeling amazing, then the money becomes the side effect of the feeling amazing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Jenni, so good. I could talk to you for hours. Like, I wish we had like all day to like just explore this, because we've only scratched the tiny surface of women's power, of the ability to have both heart and an amazing business, You know, I think you and I, especially, over, that we're both over 50, we have come from this place of everything needs to be forced. It's very logical. It's very masculine. And I'm not saying that that's wrong at all. We absolutely need structure. It's just that we don't want to start from the action place first, which is typically what we see many do, because that's what we're taught to do. Just do the thing, get in action, take the step, right? Versus let's align first. Let's find out what our heart and soul really wants to do first, so that then the actions become inspired actions instead of hustly forcing actions that don't really lead us to where it is that we want to go.
Totally, Christine. And then everything else comes faster. Everything else is more streamlined when you start from the place of alignment.
Yep, absolutely. So good. So where can people find you, Jenni? Share. I know we've got the House of Preeminence magazine. We've got a link, by the way, that is going to be going out to everybody so that you can grab a free copy of the magazine, which is beautiful. It is absolutely beauty and grace. It's absolutely gorgeous. How else could they get in touch with you, Jenni?
I'll just share about that. The magazine is not a magazine, as you know, Christine. It is a razor of frequency. It's an experience. It's what I'm creating, or what I've created, is for women to experience their highest life and visions through this beautiful media. Mm-hmm. So it is actually a tool. And at the moment, it's still free. So it's jennip.com/magazine. You'll share the link, but I really encourage your listeners to come on board, because we're actually growing a community as well. So you can be part of this. And then, quite simply, I am super open to people just emailing me, and it's Jenni with an I, JENNI, at jenni-p.com. So Jenni at jenni-p.com. And anybody can email me. I love to talk to people and connect with them. So that is, and I'm on Facebook and the usual places.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Yes. And you really do get Jenni. You don't get somebody like on this massive team. She responds to you personally. I can attest to that. So it's amazing. Jenni, thank you so much for being here. So excited. All right, everybody, don't forget to grab the copy of the link so that you can take a look at this amazing magazine. Come back here tomorrow. We are going to be talking with more amazing women who are talking about alignment, talking about designing, talking about attracting, nurturing, inviting, empowering, all of these 6 pillars that are going to help you build a thriving wellness practice that allows you to put the impact that you want to put out in the world, and also allow yourself to be well paid doing it. So really, really excited to continue this journey with you all. I will see you guys tomorrow.